Grace, what's going down?
I was just trying to figure out why you still got my name on that clip.
Because you're the co-host. You thought I was gonna change it? Ain't
Yeah.
gonna change. No, this is our podcast. On Mondays, this is what we do. On Mondays, it's us. We're a team now. You don't get that? You ain't got it
You're a
yet?
part of this.
No, you are part of this. Ain't nothing I'm not changing it up. I'm just gonna keep coming on Mondays. If you show up, if you don't, you're gonna let the people down. You want to let the people down? You want to keep them hanging on the street? No, don't let the people down because you got on your glasses. They think you're smart. And I've been telling people you're a doctor.
Stop lying on me, boy.
I told him she got her PhD. Hey, so let me ask you this: what did we go to your graduation for? What was that you was doing at Georgia
That
State?
was for my bachelor's degree.
Yeah, and so you ain't been back to school since then?
Yeah, I got my master's degree now.
Oh, okay. I got to tell people that. That's the type of stuff I want them to know. So when I be pumping it up, I'll be like, my sister, she a doctor. Can I say that? I can't say that much. What is a doctor's degree? It's a little bit more than a
PhD.
master's.
Yes, it's more than a master's.
What's the PhD?
Philosophy of education.
So you ain't got that?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, I've been lying to the people. I've been telling them that. I've been telling them you got degrees and shit.
Well,
You
stop
do?
lying to people then.
Well, I'm just saying though, I gotta pump them up so we can make them tune into the podcast, so they can think that you're gonna really give them like sound advice, like you know what to tell them. You know what to tell them.
Yeah, I know what to tell them, but
you got to know what to tell them. You got to tell them something
I
though.
don't know what to tell them. I mean, it just depends on the conversation.
Yeah, that's it. If nothing else, come from the hood. come, come from the common sense. Come from Arsenal courts. We learned a lot of shit in the courts. Did we?
Right.
Growing up around Moy and Mom Betty. Shoot, like straight up, what's going on down in the ATL?
None.
Nothing, just chilling. So
Yep.
what y'all gonna do? Y'all popping up on us?
Yeah, we'll be there Friday or
Okay.
late Friday night.
So whenever Jarice is on deck, is we gonna fire up the grill?
I guess I don't know what y'all gonna do.
Man, we're gonna try to find somebody to clean that backyard up and hopefully get Ja out there to do what he do. You know what? I shouldn't have took my DJ speakers down there because I done missed gigs now. So
What?
who's gonna bring them back? Anybody?
I don't think we got enough room for to bring them back now.
You ain't got enough space to bring them back.
We got enough space.
Yeah, I've been missing money for doing that. You dig what I'm saying? I got to figure it out. But yeah, that's cool. So listen, today I got a couple of people that, and Linda, she actually was watching a podcast, and so she was
Mhm.
really cool with what you had to say like last time, and so she didn't want to tell her story. Then my other little homie, Javante, I call him New Orleans. He is he wanted to jump on and talk about his story today too. And then I just been telling people that my sister's a doctor and she got a whole heap of sense and she gonna lay it down on you. She listen,
I know why you lying to people.
listen. I told him I said my sister when she come through, boy, she gonna give it to you raw and uncut. you dig what I'm saying? So when they come, but then you gotta have like a better background though too, Grace. Your
Ain't
background
no
don't.
wrong with my background.
But I'm saying
Don't
your
start that shit.
listen, your background don't say doctor. It don't say
Don't.
important.
It ain't gonna say doctor.
But who is that lady in the
Yeah,
back? You dig what I'm saying?
you better look at that lady and
No, put like
tolerate it.
Sojourner Truth up there. Put like Maya Angelou up in the back.
I'm
So
not putting nothing.
no,
This is my office.
listen to what I'm trying to tell you so we can pop.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Remember I told you about the pop? The
No,
pop? Making the podcast pop? You don't want to
no,
make the podcast. We're trying to make the podcast
uh,
pop. You can't see my vision. Have I not let you into the vision? I'm trying to
no. I
bring you
can't
into
see.
my vision.
I can't see it.
No,
Mm-mm.
you can see the vision. Got to see the vision. So listen, we're gonna talk to Linda. Linda's really dope. She always been following my podcast, and then her perspective is being in like a relationship that was like abusive, and
Mhm.
then you dig what I'm saying, dealing with that, and then coming out that relationship and stuff like that. So what I usually do is I'm gonna start off with like a little video, and I'm gonna show one of these videos that kind of speak to that, and then I hope I don't show the wrong one, but hold on. Let's see. I know when I started.
I had 2 brain surgeries this year and it pretty much wrecked me. Like, I am still like bald in the back of my head. The first
That's the wrong
surgery
one. That's the
left me
one
with
for my man that's coming on. All right, I got it. Here we go.
Don't talk about why women stay. I stayed because I didn't have self-worth. I stayed because I was depressed. I was down. My self-esteem was down. I stayed because I wasn't a full woman. I wasn't 100% when I was in a relationship. I was working with only 20% of myself. So you asking me to leave something and I don't even have the self-worth? When you continuously getting wrong by a man, your self-worth depletes. Depletes without you even knowing it. When I went into a relationship, I was a bad bitch. But when I stayed up in it, that is my bad bitch mentality. My self-esteem, it started disappearing on me. And it silently disappeared on me. My self-worth started to disappear. And at that moment, I was just stuck and accepting it. It was just like, wow. And it could be some arrogance. How can this man do me like this? I am so good to this man. I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. I am so good to him. Why don't he love me? And it was my ego and my diminished self-worth and self-esteem that made me stay with him.
Your mental health is way more important than any relationship, whether that be friends or family. Stop allowing people that serve no good purpose in your life to come in and put you in an unhealthy mental state. Like, honestly, they're not even worth that headache. You deserve relationships that make you feel safe, secure, and seen.
Wow.
Very true. That was good. Linda, what's going down?
Not much. How are you guys?
Just
Hi.
chilling. So Linda, this is my big sister. She's smart. She a doctor in Georgia. Her name,
Lies.
her name is her,
It's
listen,
not
her
confirmed that that's not the truth.
her
Lies.
name her name is LaShawn, Linda. You dig what I'm saying?
Hi.
Yeah.
Linda.
So but Linda, so I sent you the video and then what's up, Renee? I see you on deck. I sent you the video, Linda, earlier, just because you was always watching the
Mhm.
podcast, and when we did this
Yeah.
topic, you inboxed me and you was just like, man, I should tell my story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
I mean, that video really hit me. Like all the reasons that they talked about that you just really don't think about.
right,
And I used to try to tell people they never understood. It's like, unless you're in a relationship like that, I guess you really don't know how you're gonna handle it. Because I was that person that would always be like, "Well, why do you stay with him? He's so mean to you," you know.
right.
And then I got into that relationship, and I realized it's really not that easy to leave.
Okay.
Um, Everything
Well,
was
just give
great
us a
when it
like
first started.
but just give us a little backdrop on how on a few examples on what was going on and how it happened.
Well, when I first met him, it was kind of a rebound type thing. I had been in a series of bad relationships, and my daughter's like, "You deserve somebody so much better, mom." And so I started dating a guy that was a lot better. Like he had the job, he treated me good, but then he just suddenly he didn't want a relationship no more. And
Mm,
I was thinking, like, what did I do wrong? And so then this guy came along, and I thought, my self-worth kind of did go down. I felt like maybe I don't deserve a good person. Maybe this is the type of person I deserve. And he came into my life, and everything was great at first. I mean, he moved in, and then it started with just little arguments over the dumbest things. Like, he was out of cigarettes, and that was my fault. Or, you know, he wanted to go do something and he couldn't go do, everything was my fault.
right.
And it got into shouting matches. I tried to ignore him. I would try to go up to the bedroom, close the door and lay down or whatever, and he would just follow me around the house. It's just like, just leave me alone, go calm down. Well, it turns out that if he drinks, he becomes very mean. He can drink beer, but if he drinks anything else, it could just be one shot, and that's enough to send him over the top.
Mm,
And I would never keep alcohol like that in my house, but he would always, go up to the gas station, and on the way back, he would, you know, take one in the car, take one if you walked up there. And it just got worse and worse. And I just accepted it. I thought, well, you know, when it's good, it's really, really good. And I tried to make that good outweigh the bad.
okay.
And you can't do that. I mean,
Right.
I found that out um, very quickly.
Yeah.
Um, And the fights escalated. My family started noticing things. I mean, it wasn't physical until we moved. We moved because the landlord had raised the rent. We couldn't afford it no more, so we moved. And he was actually on the lease this time. And something told me when we went to do that lease, I just had this feeling in the pit of my stomach that this isn't right. This isn't going to work. But we did it anyways. And a month into the relationship, he was drinking more. He had started, well, I never knew that he had a cocaine habit, but it came
Mm.
out. Um, all kinds of stuff about his past came out. I knew he had done time, but I don't judge people for doing time. I never have.
Right.
But it turns out he actually was schizophrenic, and he was being treated in jail. But when he got out, he didn't take his meds anymore. So he was off his meds, and it just like about a month into the relationship, I finally was like, I can't do this anymore. I was stressed out. I was crying all the time. I mean, he accused me of cheating on him 24/7. Like we could be together the whole entire day, and he would still say I cheated on him that day. It just, he
Like
would
you got
booby
away
trap.
somehow. Go
I,
ahead.
it was crazy. Like he would go to the bathroom and be gone for 2 minutes, and he would come back, and maybe his pillow got moved because I rolled over, and he would swear that I had someone in there for 2 minutes while he was gone. Like, really? Like,
Yeah,
makes
that's
no sense.
schizophrenic for
And
real.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he booby trapped the house. Like he would put things by the door so that if I let somebody in the door or somebody came in the door, the booby trap would be moved and he'd find it in the morning. It's just weird stuff. And I just couldn't take it no more. And so I told him it was over, and he left the house that day. He went out and he got drunk, and who else knows what happened, but he came back to the apartment and just started yelling at me, screaming at me, got in my face. I was like, you got to go. I can't do this. And I just felt like something was going to happen. So I went to call 911, and he took my phone from me. Um, I tried to go out the front door. He blocked the front door. I tried to get to the back door. Like he just blocked my way. I kind of was trying to like yell out the window, hoping maybe a neighbor would hear me or something. And he would snatch me back from the window. I finally got my phone and called 911, but they said, well, do you have a place you can go where you're safe? So I went into the bedroom, and he kind of kicked the door in, and he put a knife up to my throat and said that if I was not with him, then I wasn't going to be with anybody. And he basically was going to threatening to kill me and then kill himself.
Mm.
And luckily the police showed up, and they took him to jail. Um, he didn't do much time. He did like 7 days, maybe 7 days. And they issued a restraining order. But being that person, I took him back. His mom,
Mm.
she called me, and she's like, he wants to know if he can come home. He's sorry. And he doesn't want to call, so I fell for it, and I let him come home. And 2 weeks later, he went out with his cousin, came home drunk, came in the bedroom for no reason. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, came in the bedroom for no reason and just hit me in the face. And I was like, oh my God, no. So I called 911. They came and got him. And then I didn't let him back after that. He tried to come back, and I wouldn't let him in. So he busted down my door.
Right.
And, you know, I'm not trying to say anything against the police, but to me, isn't that's breaking an entry to me. But they only charged him with simple domestic. And he, in those three total combination of things, I think he did a total of maybe 15 days total.
Right.
And that's it. Like, I thought it was crazy. And it just got crazier. Like, I was staying at my daughter's a little more because his mom lived 2 blocks away, and the landlord didn't put a no trespass on the property. So he had friends, and as long as he stayed away from me, he could come and see his friends as long as he didn't come to my apartment. And it was just getting too hard for me. So I was staying mostly at my daughter's house. And I went home one time to get some things, and my apartment had been broken into. And the landlord checked the video, and it was him. Him and
Oh.
his buddy had come in. And so at that point, I mean, this was like June. So at that point, my daughter's like, you can't stay there anymore. It's not safe. She's like,
Right.
get as much stuff as you can now and just come and stay here. We're going to figure it out. So I moved to Muscatine to get out of Davenport, because he has a rather large family, a connected family. Um, and not to say anything too bad, but they are connected with the drug ring kind of thing, so
Right.
I just didn't feel safe because everybody knew me, his whole family knew me. They knew where, he knew where my daughter lived, and I just wanted to put an end to everything. So I moved to Muscatine, and everything was so good. And turns out he decided to become a dealer, I think. And he had some connections here in Muscatine that actually did business with some people in this building. And one day, either, I don't know how it happened, but he found me in the building. And at the time, our security doors were broken. So when he came to my door, I didn't know, like the peepholes in here were too high for me to look out. And I assumed it was one of my neighbors who's a friend. And I opened the door and he was standing there. And he was really nice at first. Like, I just wanted to say hi, see how you're doing. And I mean, I'm literally just like shaking. And, it's like, you got to go. You can't be here. And he kind of pushed his way into the apartment. And then all of a sudden, he just did that turn. And he was just, yelling at me, calling me names. He called me a whore. He called me, telling me that I'm out, you know, I don't want to get too graphic, but out
Right.
basically doing anybody in town, and that I would do anybody, that kind of thing. And, I'm
But how
telling him
did you
he's got to
get kind of
leave.
like get rid of him though? Like, what was the end part of it? How
The
did you?
end part was, so honestly, if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here today. So basically, for 2 days, he kind of tortured me. He spit on me, he hit me, threw beer at me. He actually threw his cell phone at me, and I thought I broke my nose. Luckily, when the police came, there was still blood. But the second day, um, he got worse. And I went to my bedroom and locked myself in the bedroom to get away from him. And he kicked the door in. He held me down and put his hands around my neck. And he told me that basically that this is the day you're going to die. And I'm sitting there, trying to get him off of me. I'm kicking him. He's got my phone, and I went to go grab my phone from him to try to call for help. And it accidentally dialed my best friend. And she's hearing this. She answered the phone and she's hearing this. And she's trying to get me to talk to her, and I can't. So she hangs up and calls back, and I don't answer. So her boyfriend, in the meantime, calls the sheriff's department, and then she's calling my daughter because my daughter's husband lives in this. My daughter's husband's mom lives in this building, so they called to see if she could come up and check on me. And within 5 minutes, the cops were here. They got in from the building manager, used their spare key to let him in, and then they came in and got him off of me. Um, if they hadn't accidentally called if we hadn't accidentally called her, I think he would have succeeded, you know,
Right.
in ending my life that night. And it was horrible. It was just
Okay, so this is what I want to ask you now. How did he stop messing with you? Why did he? Have you seen him again or anything like that? Is he done? Have you not?
he got arrested. He got arrested that day. Um, Muscatine County is awesome. Because I found out in Davenport they didn't charge him with actually a criminal, I guess, but in Muscatine it's criminal. So he got charged. He got serious charges, and he's been in
Okay.
jail. It's been almost a year now since this happened. It happened on May 31st, and he went to jail, I believe, on June 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And so they took him to jail. We had the initial hearing. We went to show up, and because he had a county public defender, there was so much stuff going on that they ended up. I spent the whole day there at the courthouse, and his lawyer ended up not showing up. They said his lawyer changed. It was just a bunch of excuses, and so they said, "Well, we'll get a hold of you." And it just nothing happened, and nothing happened. And I kept calling the county attorney's office, and they're like, "Well, this is happening. We're trying this," and so basically it strung out. And then he was going to plead guilty, and try to do a plea bargain. So I'm like, good, this is going to be all over with. Well, then he decided to change his story because I think he heard that I had moved on. I actually did meet somebody who is an awesome person. He understands what I've been through. He's very patient with me. And I think he heard through the grapevine that I was seeing someone, and he suddenly changed his story and told his lawyer that we were having consensual sex, we were having rough sex, and we were both drunk. So I
Okay.
got called for a deposition with his
Yeah.
lawyer.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
And
Let me hold on. Let me stop you real quick and let me ask you this because we're going to try to get this on to the
yeah,
mental health because I understand what he just did, and now that
hmm
so he's got locked up. what I
Yes.
want you to try to talk to the people about the mental health aspect of it. Like,
Yes.
okay, so how has this affected you like now? Like say for instance, now even though you know he locked up,
Yeah.
how does it affect your day-to-day living?
Um, I actually there Muscatine, just like Davenport, has a place where you can check for inmates. At
Hmm.
first, I checked every single day to make sure he didn't make bond. Because at first they put him with no bond, and then he went to court and they changed it. So I checked every day to make sure he wasn't out. I was afraid because they didn't fix the building security thing for probably 2 or 3 weeks after that. And I finally went down and told them, hey, listen, this could be a lawsuit because this should never happen, and basically got fixed. But if anybody came to my apartment and I wasn't expecting anybody, I wouldn't answer the door.
Right.
Um, and it could have just been my neighbor just dropping in unexpectedly. But I was very weary of everything. Like if I was sitting outside waiting for the bus or waiting for someone to pick me up, if any car that I didn't recognize was coming up, I'd come back in the building and wait. Just even being out shopping, I was aware of everything around me. Where before you just kind of going along through the store or whatever, but I was aware of everything around me because his family knew where I lived in Muscatine,
What
and
about
I
your
just
but no, what I was about to say is like, okay, what about the new guy? You said that he told them that you was dating a new guy. How did that affect the new guy? Did he was he aware of him, or did your attitude or your personality change with him?
It did not. I didn't date for a long, long time. I seriously didn't. I was scared to date for a long time. When I first ended things with him and it moved down here, I was dating. I started dating. That was in September of 23. And I started dating and kind of trying to get back into it, easing into it. Um, and then this happened with him and I abruptly stopped. And I was like, you know what? I'm not ready. I can't do this. Um, I was scared. I was really scared. Like, I didn't know what was out there. Like, I just thought maybe I'm not meant to date, maybe I'm meant to just be alone for a while. Maybe I just need to get myself together. And seeing the toll that it took on my family, like when you look at how it affects your family too, it got me to the core. And it was sad that I had to get to that point. But knowing that I hurt my family like I did really, really, really hurt me a lot. It touched me. Because when I first moved in here, my daughter called me one night and I didn't answer the phone. And she called me the next day and I don't remember. I didn't answer the phone. So I finally called her back. She said, you know what, Mom? She's like, this is the first time in a year that I had called you and you didn't answer and I didn't freak out wanting to come and find you. And that just hurt me so bad because I knew I
Yeah,
put him through a lot. And
right.
that just hit me, like really hit me. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just happened to meet this guy and he's been by my side and he's going to court with me next. I actually have to go to court. He did decide to plea bargain. So I have to face him one more time and give my victim impact statement. But, I kind of considered not doing it. But I think for myself, it'll make me feel a lot better if I go face him and,
Okay.
tell him how it's affected me and let him know what he's actually done to me.
Okay, so
And
let
I
me
think
ask you
it's
this.
very important.
Now, when you looking back on everything, are you talking to Billy, Sean? You
Hmm.
see her? She say hello, family. Okay, so Linda, let me ask you this. Was there any type of red flags that you might
Oh,
have
yeah.
seen that you ignored?
Oh, I believe so. That they were there. Like he would disappear sometimes for a day or two at a time. I wouldn't hear nothing from him. Um, there were a couple times like maybe $5 here and there be missing from my wallet. And he's, oh, I needed cigarettes and you were sleeping or I didn't want to wake you. His behavior, like I'm like, normal people don't act like this. There's got to be something underlying. And like his mom even, like she contacted me, she's like, he's not like this, he needs help. And I said, well, then he needs to get help. And she wanted me to do it. I said, no, he needs to get the help himself. It's just, if I go do it, it's like he doesn't realize he's got a problem. He needs to go and get help. And so
Okay,
we were going to schedule an intervention and they never followed through with it, his family and I, and they never followed through with it.
But let me ask you this: what about you though? Did after dealing with him, did you go get some help? Did you seek out anybody that what I mean might help you mentally or with your
Yes, I
thing?
was. I When I met him, I was seeing a therapist. I've been seeing a therapist on and off, honestly, since about 2008, just for different things in my life. And you know, got divorced. I went through a couple of bad relationships, but yeah. And then my therapist, she was there for me. And I had a best friend too that was there for me, and she actually, came to my side a couple times, and I did have that. But my therapist really made me think. Talking to the therapist really brings it out. I mean, it's different talking to your friends and your family because it's nothing wrong with them, but they're more quick to judge. You know what I'm saying? They don't mean to, but a therapist is going to listen to you and she's not going to tell you what to do. And she makes me think and she makes me answer the questions like, why do you think this happened? And she makes me think about why it happened and makes me answer it, and it was the self-esteem. It was the thought that this is what I'm supposed to end up with because I tried a good relationship and it didn't work, and
Mhm.
I just thought
Right.
that that was the only thing out there for me.
Right. Okay, but
So,
Grace, let me ask you this. Because being like from a dude's perspective, I mean, about the only thing that I can add to the situation is that, I see dudes that act like that. You dig what I'm saying? I done seen them in the joint. I know how they talk. So I can see behind the scenes. Like I got a friend who she's going through it like right now, but I was in a joint and I was sitting talking to my mom on the phone while he was on the phone talking to women like that.
mhm.
What kind of advice would you give her, Grace, like from a perspective like that when you just listening to her story?
Well, I think a lot of it, she was saying that she has self esteem issues. And I think sometimes when you don't value yourself or value who you are or what you bring to a relationship, then you're willing to put up with anything just for the sake of having someone. And often we look for love outside of ourselves. And we just really have to get to that place where you have that self love and you kind of know that with or without a person, I'm going to be all right. Because at the end of the day, you can't really change anybody. You can't make somebody love
Yeah.
you. You know, the only thing that we can control is ourselves. And a lot of times we give away a lot of our power to other people for the sake of being in a relationship. And sometimes I
Mhm.
feel like society plays a big part in that because if you think about it as young girls you grow up you have the Barbie dolls, you have the baby dolls, and you grow up and you want a husband, and
Yeah.
that whole
Yeah.
Disney, that whole Disney fairy tale stuff or whatever. So we play house and we want that. So as you grow up and you get older or whatever, somewhere in your back of your mind you still kind of want that. And if somebody shows up in your life and they give you just a little bit of maybe something that you're lacking,
Mhm.
try to hold on to them for the fear of losing them because sometimes people say they'll rather have something have than
Yeah.
nothing. I think
Mhm.
sometimes it's
But
a little bit
let me
of
ask both of y'all this. Do y'all think like that's a ladies thing? Just they want to be in a relationship just to say that they in a relationship sometimes. Not everybody, but just
not everybody, not all women.
well, not all
Some
women,
women
but
just go by
it's
themselves,
Yeah.
But a lot of times, a lot of women are because society tells you that you need to get a man. And if you think about how back in the day, just historically, women went to college and it wasn't for education; it was to go and try to get a
Find a
man.
man.
It was to get a man.
Yeah.
It was to make themselves valuable to a man to get a husband to take care of them. And some women who went to college too, it was also, frowned upon. Like, why are you going to school? You should be getting a man and learning how to keep
Mhm.
house and this and that. So you
yeah,
got
that
all that
I
that
think
all
I
that.
think part of it I think part of it for me too is I'm 55 years old, so I'm looking at that. I'm getting older, and I wanted to kind of, I was married for 15 years, and then I started dating, and I thought I wanted a relationship, and then I didn't, and then I got to the point where yeah, I think I'm ready. Maybe I do want a relationship, and that's about the time all this was kind of happening, and I'm like, I said, when it was good, it was good. And I thought, like you said, you can't change anybody, but I thought if I could just get him to stop drinking, but I can't control that. Like when he was home, he didn't drink, but if he'd go out, he always would have to stop and get a shooter or something, no matter what. And I can't control that. I can't stop that. And so I think part of it, was like, I don't want to grow old alone. you know.
But a lot
Mhm.
of times people don't want to grow alone. You don't want to die, and then it take people weeks to find you because you laid up in the
Mhm.
house because you by yourself. So sometimes people do, want a companion, want a partner
Right.
or want to be in a relationship, especially if you've used to being in a relationship.
Right.
And I think sometimes when you want that and you become so anxious to have that I think sometimes we set ourselves up and we attract all
Mhm.
kinds of stuff in our lives that we probably wouldn't
Exactly.
if we wasn't feeling that urge or that need to have somebody.
So what you saying, Grace? You was like saying so you so anxious that you started just attracting anything.
Yeah, and
Bec-
then you ignore the red flags.
There it is.
Because
Mhm.
you know
Yeah.
Yeah.
when somebody
Yeah.
is bad, and they may do
Hmm.
something, and then they'll be like, "Oh, well, why did I do that? Oh, I only did that because I was drunk or I was drinking, and I'm not gonna do it anymore." The next week come,
Mhm.
and then they doing the same thing over, or they never take responsibility for their actions. It's, "Oh, well, why did I do that? I only did that because you said such and such, or you made me do this." And it's
Right.
like
If
it's
you
like they're
get your
putting the
ass out
blame.
of here,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're putting the blame on you for being
But
a messed up person. I need some help.
yeah, listen, but listen to this though, Linda. I thought that you probably should have got out of there when he started setting up booby traps. Like when he started setting up
Right.
traps on the
Well,
doors.
no,
Linda,
I
I
thought it
was
was
like, Linda,
super.
you should have got
Yeah,
from up out of there.
it was
When
weird. It
when
was
you went to the
weird, but I'm
bathroom
like,
for 2
okay,
minutes
it's
and
a
came back,
little,
I
it's a
like, you
little
had a man in
quirky,
the bed.
but he
What you
was
say?
paranoid too. He was very paranoid, and like I remember one time we were fighting and I just walked away and he's like, "Why do you always walk away when we fight?" I said, "Because it's easier to walk away. I don't want to argue with you." And so he told me, he's like, "Well, you know why I'm doing this?" He says, "I want you to fight." He goes, "I want you to fight back." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, I want you to argue back with me. I want you." And I'm like, "Yeah, then if I do that." So it's like, okay, the next time we got an argument, I did that and it just made him escalate even higher. And like, I think he actually like got off on that. Like, I think it
Yeah.
actually excited him thinking that this is happening. And it kind of hit when I'm really good friends with one of my exes, and he came over one time to pick up some stuff that was at that place. And my ex is in jail, the one that we had problems with, he smokes, and I let him smoke in the house. And my ex comes in, he's like, "What happened to you?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You letting him smoke in the house?" He's like, "You never would allow that when we were together." And he's like, "What happened?" He's like, "I can tell talking to you on the phone." He's like, "You're not that strong person that you were when we were together." He said, "You used to not have a problem, telling me off or whatever." He says, "I just noticed that you're not that person anymore." And that kind of hit home too, because I'm like, "You're right. Like, I'm kind of letting him walk all over me.
Right. But
And
Grace, what was the red flag that you said that you seen? You was saying
He
one.
just said he went to the bathroom for 2 minutes and came back and said you had a man in the bed because the pillow shifted. I'm like, bruh, it's over.
It's like it's a rap. It's a rap.
Right.
Like
I
Like,
mean,
you got to
yeah.
start. Linda, you should have started packing him up right then and there. You started like,
right,
come on, you got to get this together.
I mean,
right,
Come on and get this stuff out of here. Like we're gonna
right.
get
You
your clothes,
oh,
man. We got to get your
yeah.
clothes and get you to another place. You should have called him an
I
Uber or
mean,
That
something.
part.
Like
it
man,
was
you got to go
crazy
somebody.
because my daughter would pick me up and we'd go do stuff, and he would swear that my daughter was taking me to somebody else's house. I'm like, my daughter would not do that. Like literally, sometimes for his theories to be true, I would literally have be having sex in the bed while he's next, with somebody else while he's laying next to me. It's like your theories don't make any sense. You're just weird. And he'd been burned like in the past, and he thinks all women are that way. And like I don't know. I found out a lot of stuff a little too late. The red flags were not there at first, but when they came in, I just felt like I'm in too deep. Like
Right.
he had been in trouble for being abusive before, but back then they were a little more lax on the laws, and the the accuser didn't show up for court, so he didn't do any time for
Yeah,
that.
that
But
happens
he
all
has
the
been
time.
accused before, and
Yeah.
I thought, you know, this isn't right. This isn't
But
normal, and
but that's the game because we had Amber. Amber says the system is designed to collect, not to protect. And so a
mhm,
lot of times what people don't understand is that that's the game to not show up to court. You dig what I'm saying? If
mhm,
they can get you not to show up to court to testify against him, then they don't have any evidence. You know what I mean? They trying to
right,
find ways to get around that right now. But like if there was anything that you could tell somebody else that's listening to you, what kind of advice would you give somebody else that might be going through what you're going through?
I would just like you said, the first sign that anything is not right, take that sign to heart, because I didn't, I did that thing like, oh, this is a one time thing, or, this isn't going to happen again, or, or it's only when he drinks. So if I keep him from drinking, like Grace said, you can't change somebody. And if you think you're going to change them, you're wrong.
Right.
No matter how much love you have for somebody, someone in that position who's that way, especially if they're meant something with their mental health, they're not going to change.
Right.
And I
Great.
wish I had noticed those, I wish I had taken heed to that a lot sooner. It wouldn't have escalated to what it did.
Right.
So I just say, follow your gut, follow your heart, follow your gut before your heart, because your gut's going to lead you the right direction. Your heart, the heart wants what the heart wants, kind of thing. And I get it. People want relationships and everything, but if they're not the one, then you got to let them go. It's not good.
It's good to see you smiling though too. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
seem like a little bit happy. I mean, we've been like Facebook friends for a while, and you've been checking out the
Hmm.
podcast. I'm grateful for that though too. Grace,
Yes.
give us some of the Dr. Hood advice, like to ladies that might be struggling through that. What give us something from Arsenal Courts on what kind of advice ladies should take on looking out for red flags and stuff like that.
When you notice the red flags, you have to get up out of there. Pack as well as pray. That's all I can say.
Hmm.
Pack as well as pray.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like so
That's
either
good
you gotta pack
advice.
their shit or you gotta pack your shit or pack their shit. It's like one of
Right.
the two. Somebody gotta go
Somebody got
because
to go.
if you start thinking about that like he's schizophrenic, it could have been worse. It could have been
Hmm.
worse,
Hmm.
especially when somebody punching you in the face and he violent. If they verbally abuse you and physically abuse you, you dig what I'm saying?
It's gonna happen
Sometimes it might
again.
not be, yeah, no, it might not be no boundaries to it one time,
Right.
especially like when people are off liquor, because I can vouch for that. You dig what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's the reason why a lot of people like, yeah, you don't drink no more. Like, listen, I don't drink no more because that shit was bad decisions. No, nobody want to
Hmm.
wake up and have to look at somebody and explain for something you done did and you done blacked out because you've been drinking too
Right.
much. And nah, ain't nobody finna go through that. That's dumb.
Well,
You dig what I'm saying?
there were times he would call and I wouldn't answer, and he would leave voicemails, and they were nasty and mean and name calling. And I would say something to him like the next day. He's like, I didn't do that. I said, yes, yes, you did. And I would have
Yeah.
to play them for him because he didn't even
Blackout.
remember anything he did. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I talked to you that way. It's like, oh my God, and then that's when I think I first started, really realizing like he doesn't know what he's doing. And his family talks like they're so concerned about him, but you know what, I found out that they were funding his cocaine habit when he didn't have the money for it. They were taking him to buy these shooters, but then they tried to put it on me. Like his mom actually said to me one time, you must like getting beat up. And I was like, what? And
Yeah.
she said, well, you always
Yeah.
antagonize him. I was like, okay, I'm done. I
Mm-mm.
don't talk to you. I don't talk to them. No, I mean, I don't talk to anybody's family.
Right.
And yeah.
When somebody else support that, you know it's definitely out.
Yeah, his
But
mama
listen,
probably was
Hmm.
getting beat up, so he had to learn it from somewhere. So he could have saw his mama getting her ass whooped. So, I mean, and
Hmm.
for her to say he was antagonizing him,
is that
Yeah,
the
I
hood advice?
mean,
But hold on,
I
time out
learned
real
some
quick.
things about I learned
Time
some
out.
things
No,
about that family I didn't want to know. So yeah.
but but time out real quick, Linda. Grace, say that say that again. Because I mean,
what?
it's really real though. I mean, people hate to hear that part of life, but it's real because
Yeah,
sometimes he's sitting up there and then you got a mom that think that it's okay and you
yeah,
want to sit up there and pat him on the back like you antagonizing him, you trying to come up with an excuse and justify why this
your
dude is
son's
effed
bad
up
behavior.
and putting his hands on a woman, beating her up
Hmm.
and verbally abusing her. And then when he go to jail, can you take him back, he's sorry. No, ain't nobody taking his punk ass back. He been sitting up
Right.
watching you get beat up and you ain't
Hmm.
have enough guts to get from up out of it. Now here he
Right.
go. I try to, but see, now, okay, my advice to men. That's why I be saying, like, when y'all get into relationship with women, if you're not gonna be respectful and be cool and she got kids, get away from around them because
Yeah.
kids see that. And you can leave an example on kids' head when the way that you come around and you putting your hands on them,
Hmm.
verbally abusing them and physically abusing them and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, you raise somebody else out here and it's not a problem until somebody do it to one of their daughters or
Right.
to one of the, you see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but Linda, I appreciate that though. And
Yeah.
it does open up a window. I really think that it was one of the ones we probably should have did for domestic violence, but we can come back
Yeah.
and talk about it and resurface it. But mentally, I think you said it, Grace. You dig what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
red flags, you have to be able to say, okay, and stop thinking that you always got to be in a relationship just to be doing
Right.
something. You know what I mean?
Right.
You ain't got to just sometimes, man, go dolo. You do what I'm saying? Date
Yeah.
yourself. It's cool. Go dolo. Date yourself.
Because
Man,
I'm
Right.
telling you, I'm good company to me. I tell people all the time, I'm good company to me.
Exactly.
And hey, let me
straight
tell you something. I will sit in an empty house Indian style before I put up with some mess. I have been in relationships where I gave the person all furniture so that they could go.
Man, I
And
can't,
I bought my furniture piece by piece. So let me tell
listen,
you something.
I
Ain't nothing
can't
like a piece of mind. I'm gonna
look,
tell you.
I can't wait to move back in so you can give me some of that stuff to get rid of me. He's got a lot of nice stuff over there. I'm gonna come over there and be so irritating. So you can be like, here, boy, take this furniture set and get on out of here. Straight up. But listen, Linda, I thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Anytime that you want to get on here and share your platform, we got something that we talking about, you more than welcome. Okay.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Uh-huh.
Appreciate it.
Nice seeing you, Linda.
Yeah. Okay. So that was dope.
Mhm.
That's that hood advice I was talking about, Grace. See, that's why people think that you're smart. You got on the glasses. You dig what I'm saying? But now what about if he's somewhere and he watching the podcast and his mama be like she mad at you
I
for
don't
what
care
you say?
about his mama.
You don't care about her being
No,
mad,
I don't
talking
care
about
about
she
his
got
mama.
whooped. He probably seen
Hey,
her get whooped. You can't, I
get some
don't know if you,
help. Get some
huh?
help.
Everybody, the
Yeah,
whole
it
house
should be
need help.
that right there. That's right there should be a door. That's God trying to tell you something. Probably trying to tell you to go and get you some help. Go sit on somebody's couch.
Yeah.
So I don't care nothing about her being mad. She'll get over it.
That's real. Okay, so listen, my man that I be calling New Orleans, he's somewhere in the background. Vontae, wherever you at, big dog, show back up because I'm finna pop you in. I'm gonna show this little video. He was the one that last week when we was talking. He was on here, and then they was having like a little sidebar conversation with Anna and them. You know what I mean? They was talking and stuff like that, and so um he's going through some stuff, but I'm gonna show this little video and then I'm gonna let him talk and just kind of like bring his thing through. I don't know where he at. I don't see him sitting down, but we're gonna play the video and hopefully he'll pop up. All right.
I had 2 brain surgeries this year and it pretty much wrecked me. Like, I am still like bald in the back of my head. The first surgery left me with double vision so bad that I couldn't work for almost half a year. And I don't think people realize, but when you have double vision, you can't like do anything. I couldn't read, I couldn't like watch TV, I couldn't drive, I pretty much couldn't do anything to pass the time. I was just kind of like disoriented, stumbling around. And then I find out 6 months after my first surgery that I needed a second brain surgery. And I came out of that one with like horrendous memory issues and a blind spot. So I'm still out of work and I still can't do day-to-day things. And I don't know if people realize how isolating it is to be chronically ill. Because like, you know, after my first brain surgery, people were really supportive, really concerned for me, asked me how they could help. But after it became like a long-term illness sort of thing, people start to just like drop off and not really care anymore, which I don't blame them because like, you know, I'm young, my friends are young, everyone's trying to just have a good time, no one's trying to be worried about someone who's sick, but it really has been eye-opening to see how isolating it is to be chronically ill as a young person this year.
One of the more challenging issues around traumatic brain injuries is coming to terms with the fact that you are no longer the same person in many ways that you were before the brain injury. And you have to come to terms and accept your new normal and to be able to appreciate and love yourself, even though some of the functions that you were able to do before the brain injury are now compromised. So self-acceptance becomes a major challenge in traumatic brain injury.
Okay, Grace. I see him. He done did something. You should have just stayed in, bro. I see you, but there you go. What's up? Can you hear us? I can't hear you. What did you do, bro? You should have just did it the way that you did it before. Log out and log back in. He didn't. But okay. I'm telling him to log out and then log back in.
It looked like he's frozen. Is he frozen?
He is now.
Oh, okay.
But I just told him to log out and then log back in. Um,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
What's going down, bro? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? I can hear you. All right, let him try to tap in and log back out and then tap back in. But a lot of things that she was saying though, Grace, it was like this guy that I was in the joint with. Um let's see what's up if I can get him back in. But you you, you see him. Hey, what's up, big dog?
Oh, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, all right. What's up? What's up?
All right. Did you was you able to see the video? Man, your phone is messed up. Can y'all hear that feedback on mine, Grace?
I can hear feedback.
It's your phone.
If he's
It's
listening on
my phone.
Facebook, he probably gonna have to mute it.
Are you listening to it on Facebook?
I'm listening to y'all right now. I don't know if it's Facebook or what. I can see y'all faces though.
Yeah, he probably listening to us on
He probably
Facebook.
listening on Facebook. That's why I got
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you're supposed to log out and log back in, bro. But why did you mess with it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had hit leave and I logged back in.
All right, try it again.
All right.
But yeah, what I was talking about was you got to try it again because you logged into Facebook.
Okay,
But
hold
so
on.
I had a guy,
Mm-hmm.
and man, this nigga used to be in the joint, and so I used to sit there and listen to him, and so I can't say the chick name, but you know what I mean. He winded up talking to like this to one of the girls that's from the Quad Cities, but you know he asked me, "Do I know her?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know her," and stuff like that. So he gets out and he winds up marrying her, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I I don't know from like a woman's perspective, like is it a way that niggas is being like sneaky to where women is not seeing the like the red flags or you know what I'm saying? Because to me, it was like fam was like a dirt bag, like a straight up dirt bag. Like he would do shit. Like say for instance, he had a chick come from Waterloo in a U-Haul because she couldn't get a rental car. All the rental cars from Enterprises was taken. So he had a chick take a U-Haul from
Mm-hmm.
Waterloo, come down to Davenport, and he have sex in the back of the U-Haul with her.
And she did that?
Hold on. Did you see the face that you made?
Man, go, man, go on. You better stop playing with me.
No, I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you what the
Ooh,
Lord
Jesus,
loved.
stop
That's the
right
truth.
there. Ooh,
Listen, so you know what I mean? Like I've heard of like some dummies or some goofies, but like that's unheard of to me. Like, like, hold on. Like, is your standards that low?
yes, yes, they are that low. I wish I would rent a whole U-Haul for moving furniture to go lay up in. Which is, man, stop.
Yeah. And so now he's got this another friend of ours that we knew from way back in the days in the 90s, and he married her and he's taking her through the ringer. You dig what I'm saying? And
Mhm,
it's just like we didn't get a chance to like to go into deep details with Linda about the mental health aspect of it. I think you
mhm,
said it like on point is that some women feel like they just have to be in a relationship,
mhm,
you know. And I never looked at it like that because I always try to tell like ladies too, and this was just from common sense, like when we grew up, women, the girls, they always played with dolls. They always played house. They always played
Mhm.
school. So they was always ready. Like, say for instance, you was way more mature than everybody in our clique because you was the babysitter. I
Mhm.
remember us being little kids. They used to go out and you used to be the baby. How old was you when you started babysitting?
I was like 5.
You see what I'm saying? Ain't no 5-year-old got no business babysitting the
Babysitting.
whole house.
Yes,
But
whole
you
house,
held
not
it
one.
down. But you know something else that I remember though too, and this is a little bit off, but about you and about us when we talking about common sense. Do you remember we had I had the key around my neck, and like I knew that when I got home from school, I was only in the second grade. Come in the house, lock the door, don't let nobody else in until Sean get there. I knew how to
Mhm.
warm up Campbell. I knew how to make me some chicken noodle soup. I knew how to make me a
Mhm.
bologna sandwich with the red little ribbons around it. I knew how to
Mhm.
make that, or I knew how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. And you sit down there and you don't open up my damn door for nobody. That was the rules. You dig
Right.
what I'm saying? That was the rules. But to me, I'm gonna tap you right back in, family, because we might have to do the video again. I got him on deck. I want to see if we can hear him. But
Mhm.
on a mental health, maybe we're gonna do it a little bit. Let's see if we can hear him. But we got to talk about that though, because because that baffles me, bro. Can you hear me? Can you hear us? We can't hear you. What did you do the first time that we did the backstage, bro? Okay. Somehow you left, and you left out. Whatever you did, you didn't do the right thing again. So we can't hear you now. So I don't know what happened. All right. But so I guess what I was just trying to say, just from a mental health aspect, for like ladies that's watching it, one of the things you talked about is like loving yourself. And so somebody else tapped in onto that. Maria says
Maria
definitely
said
have to
definitely.
love yourself. What is an example of loving yourself?
And see, and that's what I often wonder. What does that look like? Because I think for everybody, loving yourself is different. But I think because sometimes we grow up and kids are cruel. So any flaws that you have, them little bastards is gonna point it out because kids are cruel. So a lot of times I think that we take some of those flaws and some of that low self esteem and those hurtful words into adulthood. So sometimes you just got to look in yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm okay. I am enough exactly as I am. Some people say, you got to go spend money on yourself or treat yourself the way that you want other people to treat you, and I agree with that too. But to me, that's superficial and that's materialistic because once that ends, then what are you left with? Because you can go and do retail therapy and you could go buy yourself and you can take yourself to the most expensive restaurants that you would want somebody else to, and you can say, oh, this is self-love and this is self-care day or whatever. But at the end of the day, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? When you look in the mirror, you're going to see flaws. Are you okay with those flaws? Are you going to be like, yeah, you might have to have, like the self-esteem of Rasputia and be like, how you doing? You know,
Straight up.
oh, you want to see a bitch go down a slide.
Right. For
I
real.
show you.
Straight up.
So,
But let me ask you this though, one. But what about the chick that might look in the mirror? Or I tell you what I think. Do you think people is comparing themselves with social media? Now that
mhm,
social media is here,
that's a big
it's
problem.
it's like, all right, now I want to mirror what somebody else's life look like. I'm trying to
Yeah.
mirror, okay, I see them taking trips, or I see them with this body. They get a lot of people that like them because they body like that. So let me go try the BBL. Let me
Hmm.
try this up. And then you stuck with a bunch of, what I mean, BS that makes you think that this is what happiness is about.
Hmm.
And what I found out about is that happiness has got to be in here.
It's the inside.
I
It's an
swear.
inside job. Because listen, if somebody can make you happy, they can also make you sad. So if you give away that power and that control to somebody to say, oh, this person makes me happy or this person is this, that person also has the power to make you sad. That person also has the power to drive you into a depression because of how you feel about the situation, because you're on the outside looking for validation, you're on the outside looking for love, and everything that you really need is on the inside. You have to wake up and say, I don't care. Because social media is fake. People be taking pictures and be act like they got act like they got it going on and they don't.
Yeah.
People be acting like they got the victory and they don't. Especially
So they celebrate too early. They celebrate way too early.
right.
I, let me see if I can't even see you, bro. So I can't see you. But listen, I like that though. Motherfuckers they'll get on the book and they'll make it seem like everything is together and it ain't
Hmm.
together. Life is in shambles. But guess what you want the world to see? I was trying to tell them that, man. I had like this little song. Wait till this song come out. And it's like I'm telling like social media, everybody, like when you post your story, you look back just to see how many people looked at the story.
Hmm.
Then you look down the list just to see. Let me see if the people that really don't fuck with me. Let me see if they looked at my story. Because you want to
Hmm.
see. You want to see now. You know
Right.
my cool people that's gonna thumb me up. That's gonna heart me. My family. My real people. But let me see if
Hmm.
I got a look from somebody that don't even. You know what I mean? Remember you
Yeah.
dissed me. Oh, now you trying to look at my story, and it's like that. And people and social media. But I tell you this. The I wouldn't want anybody to go to prison, but that was the best time that I can ever say I had with myself was to sit in a cell and figure me out and say,
Hmm.
okay, you know what? This is the shit I don't like about me. He's finna die. He's not coming out. This is the cool shit that I do like about me. And this is what I'm finna hone in. I'm finna tune it
Hmm.
up and I'm finna master this shit. And this is who
Hmm.
I really am. Like, and God, you know what I mean? You get the glory because I'm saying, here it is.
Right.
And I'm telling you, you sent me hella books. That was love. I read. You dig what I'm saying? You always kept sending me books. But I'm telling you, can't nobody step into my space and determine my happiness. 'Cause I
Right.
tell you what, I'll cut out on you. I'll be down here by myself. I'll be down here by myself, just chilling. I know it ain't the best. We talked about it. I might have to change some colors, but other than that, I'm straight and I'll do it. It's cool
I
like
have
that.
a friend that has a saying that says, "Change the people or change the people."
Hmm. Yeah,
And I was like, "Well, you can't change people." I said, "Well, you can't change somebody else." He was like, "Well, then change the people.
yeah.
You know, get them people out your life. You
And
know."
yeah, exactly. And get people around you that's doing good. You dig
Right.
what I'm saying? I had a guy that was down here. He got a haircut. And shout out to the young lady who sent that dude down here because I don't know, she just threw me a bone. They was military. They was from
Hmm.
Huntsville, Alabama. They had an event going down here on the Arsenal. And so they needed to get her husband haircut. So they sent him to me. Come to find out he's from out in the Bay Area of California,
Hmm.
got some property out in LA. And he does property by the resorts. So you can
Hmm.
rent out his resorts. He got them in Colorado. He does. So I'm thinking like, damn, businessman. And then we got to sitting down talking. Come to find out, ex gang member, ex person
Hmm.
from the street, ex drug dealer, all of this and that. But just to step this game up. And it ain't
Hmm.
where you from. It's about what you gonna do with what you
Right.
got. And as I
Hmm.
was sitting there listening to him, man, I had to hit him up like, man, I need your number. We need to talk because these the type of people that I need to talk to.
Yeah.
People
These are.
that's doing resorts. And
Hmm.
like I told him about Boogie, like what Boogie doing down in LA. You dig what I'm saying? I was sitting down there with Boogie. Boogie took me to lunch. No, he took me to breakfast. As we was walking, he was doing his things like, cuz I got a few business meetings on my thing. I'm talking about he's sitting there telling people, okay, this quarter you only got 180,000 to play with. So whatever you got left from over there gonna carry over to that. So take the 180. And I'm thinking like to myself, like, damn, you talking to people about how much money they get to play with for a quarter. So for the first
Hmm.
months, they got $180,000 to do any medical thing that they need to do, conferences that you need to set up, however you want to
Hmm.
program. But I'm telling you, that's all your bit. That's your budget. And he
Hmm.
does that for like 2 states where he's got medical companies. Boogie
Hmm.
smart. But
Yeah.
when you listen to people like making moves like that, it makes you want to change the people. Change
Yeah.
the people.
Change the people.
Ain't no sense being around nobody that's talking dumb, moving dumb, that ain't talking about nothing,
Right.
about nothing.
Always gossiping. Ain't talking about business
Yeah, ain't talking about no future. What you
and nothing.
like what's gonna happen next year? Like what kind of plan?
Hmm.
Cause see, anybody can jump on social media and act like they there. You dig what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You could jump on the plane. It don't cost too much to jump on the plane and get over there. You dig what I'm saying? But that same
Right.
mentality went over there, and that same mentality coming back just because you changed it.
Hmm.
You got to change your vision, man. I'm trying to tell
Yeah,
you.
that's true.
Yeah, let me see if this dude is working real quick. We got him on deck because I really want to hear his story. Little bro, can you hear us? Little bro in the Twilight Zone. Little bro, can you hear us? We can't hear you, bro. I don't know
Is
what
he on the
happened.
phone or?
Yeah,
That's
he's on
not
his
good.
phone. But we was backstage. We had it working. We had it working. He had it working somewhere, and somehow we went bad. But we still get, yeah. Okay, we ain't gonna get it. He cut out. But at the end of the day, it's cool. Linda said it's definitely social media. Okay, yeah, I put that up there, Maria. Social media is dangerous. So other than that, yeah. When it comes to like mental health, bro, I don't know what's going on with his phone. He says add to the stream. Let me see. Add to the stream. Can you hear
Oh,
us?
there you go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. You on? But you still got us on the Facebook.
I still got y'all on Facebook.
Yeah, cause you can't you hear the feedback?
Uh, from the last conversation.
Mm-mm, you did something
Probably
wrong.
just gonna let her rock with it because he probably ain't gonna be able to do no better.
Yep. Did you at least see the video?
I seen a video, yeah, with all of y'all on it, but I
Mm-mm.
I couldn't even hear nothing.
Okay, but you can hear him, can't you, Grace?
I can hear him. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so listen. If you heard the video, this is what we wanted to get from you. That's irritating. Um, you, I know me and you talked about it a little bit. You had
I think
five
he
break,
needs to turn the volume down on his phone. Maybe that'll help.
or do you got any earbuds?
Yeah, I got some.
Yeah, get your earbuds. That might work. Yeah, let's see that.
Hello.
Can you still hear us?
Oh yeah, that's loud. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now we can hear you without the feedback. There it is. That's dope. You got your earbuds. You can still hear us because you look like you froze. You good?
Yeah. All it's saying is
O-
lost connection. Oh, there you go now. It's working.
Okay. Now turn. Can you turn your mic up a little bit? Turn your phone up a little bit so your mic. Yep.
Yeah,
So we can
that's
hear.
better.
Or let me see if I could turn you up. I might be able to turn you up, and we rocking. Okay. Say something right now. Yeah. A little bit. Your phone just froze up. I don't know what's going on over there, bro. Yeah. There you go. You good? What's happening with your stuff? You
I
good?
might be in I might be in a bad area. Hold up.
Where was you at first? Earlier today when we was backstage, you was good. But
I think I might be in a bad area. What
Um,
about now?
I can hear you. We can barely see you, but we can hear you.
Hold
Yep,
up.
you ain't freezing up. Is that better for you? I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. I can see your face a little bit right there. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm walking towards probably. No.
Yep.
Yeah. That what it is. Is service probably, man. Cause we upstairs. Yeah.
In that apartment. Okay.
Yeah.
but he says a service.
Yeah, because he's upstairs. He's at they in a look a duplex, but he's on the upstairs apartment. But okay, just grab a seat where you was at. That seemed like that one spot where you was at in that little room. We could hear you, and you know what I mean. Everything is
Yeah.
clear.
Not to
So
move. I'm gonna do that. Man, I'm sorry about that, man. I might have to go buy an iPad tomorrow.
you got an iPhone though, don't you?
Yeah, but sometimes that man, these iPhones weird, man.
Okay, because we can hear you like now. I mean, can you hear him, guys?
I could barely hear him, but it's all right.
Yeah.
You got the volume on your phone turned up?
Yeah, loud all the way. These brand new headphones.
Okay, because I got your volume turned up all the way on my thing as far as it'll go. But I mean, what I was trying to get you to do, little bro, is since you was on here like last week and there was a lot. What's up, Ken? He said, I love this. Hey, I appreciate you too, big bro. Man, I know man, we should have tapped in. I'm so glad that you tapped in over here. But yeah, I meant to get in touch with you though too, and give you the follow up. Have you talked to Ken, Grace?
Not lately.
Okay, I'll tap in, bro. But so listen, little bro, when we were speaking like last week, what I wanted you to do was to get a chance to tell your story on what you was going through and why you was feeling like that. Because a lot of people that was, that was in the side comments, they might not understand everything that was happening with you as far as like the surgeries that you had and how you felt like people wasn't supporting you. So give my sister, because she's a doctor, give her
I am not a doctor. Stop telling you.
listen, bro, listen, kind of roll with it, Grice. Listen, because listen to, I'm going somewhere. I'm trying to talk to the people. I'm trying to make this like my sister smart. Like, so I'm saying don't let me down. So when I'm bragging on my big sister, don't listen. Because I be places like my big sister, a doctor. She's an author. She's a stand-up comedian. I be telling people she been in ride along. I tell her all kind of stuff. You dig what I'm saying? And you got books and you're a stand-up comedian. So listen, when I add the doctor to it, just roll with it. Don't say much. Just be cool. Just be cool. When we make it to the big time, you dig what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be funny,
Hello.
all right? But listen, little bro, talk to the doctor. Talk to the doctor and tell her, a little bit about the
Yeah.
issues so she can give you some hood advice. Cause she cause she got her doctorates from the ACP, Arsenal Court. She was a smart. Listen, no, for real, for real. This is a true story. She was so smart at Grant that she skipped a class. So she was one of the smartest kids at Grant, and she skipped the whole grade. So listen, she's smart. So tell her your stuff. Tell her your stuff, and you gave me some Arsenal Court advice. All right,
Like,
but don't no.
like
This is
this.
serious though. But tell them for real on how you was feeling like last week about people not supporting you and what you're going through.
Um, so you can hear me clear, right?
Yep. But it's
Like,
you low.
I don't, I don't understand how I'm low. But oh wait, they got this button. Like a, I could tune it up. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear him, guys?
Barely.
Okay. Go ahead, bro.
All right. And this is about the support system, right?
Or just about what you're going through. How do you struggling with what you're going through after you done had your surgeries?
Um, I struggle with it because a lot of people not in my shoes. So it's like when you trying to get people to understand that you not in my shoes, they try to tell you what to do and how to control your behavior. But how could you sit up there and tell somebody, what to do when you're not in my shoes? You don't know how I feel. And on top of that, you're not my therapist. And that I'm not saying that that could be for anybody, but the way I feel is for everybody because you could tell a person your situation, but some people not there to hear your situation. They want to hear it, but at the end of the day, this for any black or white person. These people don't care. These people just
But
want
who
to
are
hear
you
your
saying don't
story.
care though, bro? Hold on. Make that clear. Who don't care? Who are you talking about when you say they don't
I
care?
would say, I would say like family wise, when you got family, that's like competition. So man, that's the worst part. Man, they don't care, man. You can have friends. Friends just gonna tell you a little bit, and then it's a brush off. They really don't care. They got their own life to live.
Okay.
So why am I so important to them?
Okay, but do this then. Give me a couple of examples of how you feel that you think other people don't understand, like some stuff that you might be going through, like say for instance, when we was watching that video, they was talking post surgery, like after the surgery is over with, after you get done having brain surgery. Some people said that they have memory loss, some people are dealing with scars, some people are dealing with like pain. You know what I'm saying? One girl said that she was having double visions. So from a I get you from the perspective of people being on the outside looking in, but how are you feeling? How do you be feeling that you don't think people understand it?
Um, well, I just seen somebody like what I said earlier. I appreciate it, but this how I feel. Whenever that situation happened with me, it broke me to my lowest. Cause it's like the first day you had your first seizure, right?
Hmm.
Your first day, and you thinking it's like grandma. It's one little sickness. It's gonna be over tomorrow. But then the second day it happened, and I'm like, it's cool. But then when the shit just repeatedly kept going on and on and on, I had a light little aneurysm, but they caught it on time on the brain. So you know, I started to get like kind of scared. I wasn't that scared to where I started to get emotional, but when I met up with the doctors in New Orleans and they did MRIs, they did a lot. They said, you have a tumor on the brain,
Hmm.
and I was like, how did I get a tumor? And there was like stress, anger, so many things, and it was like we had discussed it about everything, but I wish I would have never made that deal with a doctor because I feel like the first time I did it, it wasn't successful. I felt like they just wanted a check. They didn't care. They didn't go home and think about what they're doing to a human being. All they care about is their money. You think okay? You think all these people in these facilities is really healed? No. These people want to check. But see, at that time I wasn't thinking like that because I was so young. So when they operated on me, my surgery was 24 hours. It was two women. I forgot it was Dr. McGuire and Dr. Miller. They performed my surgery twice. They cut me open first. I got up. Okay, I'm fine. Then the second time, they cut it right back open again, and they put plates to track where the seizures was coming from. So they done that, and they took parts of the tumor out. They didn't take all of it out. They took parts of it. So I would say like 50%. That was cool. So like it had slowed down once I got back on my feet. So then the seizures went away for a very long time. I'd say for about 3 months. Cool. But at the same time, I'm out of school at that time. I had to wait for a very long time for this to actually heal. All this was soft like a cookie, right?
Hmm.
All this was soft. So I'm like, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. I go to school, right after them little 3 months, and in less than 5 minutes, seizure, and it's like damn, I'm sitting up here in the hospital with IVs in my arm, and I'm like, damn, I just had surgery. What's the problem, man? It was like more stuff adding on to the brain, adding on to the brain, adding on, and it's like wow. So my mama come, she was like, well, we gotta go see another doctor. This not right. This not right. Ended up going to see my other doctor, which was Dr. Volk and Dr. I forgot the lady name. But with that being said, that was to happen to be my third surgery. He performed, but it was a light surgery. He cut open, he repeated the same cycle, and he actually found where it was coming from. It was coming by my temple to where it could have bust. it was coming from the temple. That's why whenever you be lining me up, this side right here is like closer in, cause I got half of it out.
Hmm.
So he did his thing, and he felt like I needed to rest for the moment after he took it out, and then they went back in again and did the same little thing, and he took a little bit of it out. He went like step by step. But then that fifth time, when he went in, he did the best he could because he didn't want to go all the way because I could have went
Mm.
blind. So it's like, damn, it's like you can't get that far. So it's like, damn, 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 damn. And he told us, but I mean, still to this day, it's like still going
Right.
through it, man. It's like I lost a lot of shit, man, and it's like it's sad when you're all about your education, you're all about your money, you're not worried about nothing, and it's like at the same time, bruh, being a travel CNA, it's like sometimes I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get there, cause they took my license from me. I bought a car, cash, a Kia. Bear, I had that car in 5 days. That car was gone.
But I'm saying they take your license because they don't feel like you should be driving.
They feel like I
Right.
can't drive.
Because you can have a seizure while you're
You
driving.
know, I don't listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't listen because I feel like, man, I gotta work too as much as you do. So why should I listen to you when you got your degree? I'm on my way trying to get mine just like you. I don't want you to take my responsibilities
Right.
away.
But it's still got to be hard though, little
I
bro,
do what I'm
because if you
supposed to
saying
do.
like, okay, you can't drive because you having seizures, like you could have a seizure while you driving and just tear up a whole road. You dig what I'm saying? Or, or
Yeah, I mean, that
yeah,
happened. That happened once before, and my mama got mad because she said if I would have caused a wreck and killed that person, I would
right.
have went to jail.
Hmm.
Vehicle
But it's
homicide.
like, why would I go to
No,
jail
vehicle homicide.
when it's not me?
No, they ain't looking at it like that, little bro. They looking at it as you have a health condition and you know that you're not supposed to be driving. That's the only thing they're gonna think about, and they'll lock you up for vehicular homicide. You know what I mean? I done
Uh,
seen people go to prison for that. You know what I'm saying? And this is from drunk driving. So
Hmm.
yeah, so yeah. But now on the flip side of that, I can understand why that might be hard on you. Cause I mean, you you very educated, you very hardworking, and you want to live like the rest of everybody else. You dig what I'm saying? You want to live like the world. What is your support system like though? Like, so how do you feel like people that's in your corner, are they supporting you, or do you feel like you becoming like a dead weight to them, or they tired of it?
um, well, well, I have my
Yeah,
days. Like to be honest, like I w- I wouldn't show it in the front of you, cause I could tell you right, and I'm gonna be honest like a man. Some men don't be honest, but I act okay. I look at you
right,
as my uncle, so I'm gonna act good. But when I'm not around, man, I'm a different person, man. Like earlier, you seen what I had. It's like it's the fact to where like I get angry, man, cause like at the end of the day, all them surgeries I did, I took a loss, a big loss. Like sometime, man, that shit had me
mm-hmm,
crying, cause it's like I took a big loss for nothing. I did all of this for nothing. I lost this from this. Where is this shit coming from? Where is this shit coming from? It's like sometimes I would like get angry. I would throw shit. I would punch the wall. I would text my mom. I said, like, I texted earlier today, right before I came to you. But I came to you calm. I text my mom. I said, listen, if I don't get my driver's license, I'm gonna commit suicide.
no, don't do that, bro.
Mm-mm.
Don't do that.
Like I'm gonna be honest. I said there's gonna be a threat to the doctor because he's not giving me what I need and he's not
Right.
feeling me. Some days, like, and I'm about to tell y'all the truth. Some days we don't like to ask people for nothing because your support system really not your fucking support system. Your support system really not your support system. I'm gonna repeat that because if it was your support system, they would understand where you're coming from. But it's the fact that you can only get people to understand so much to where they just don't care. And you have to learn to care about yourself in situations like this. And it's sad because every day, man, I swear to God, bro, like people will ask me, when was the last time you had a seizure? I would lie. I could have had a seizure Friday and just lie and say, oh man, it's been good. But the whole time, I know I had it.
Right.
For example, I had four of them on my last day in South Dakota to come back home. I had four of them in the bed. But guess what? I didn't bother to call nobody because it's like all they gonna do is brush
Mm,
me off. Y'all ever got brushed off before? And they'll be like, "You gonna be all right. You gonna be all right." It's a brush off. They don't really care.
right.
Totally. They don't
Well,
give a fuck.
first of all, I think now that you explaining it, you know what I mean. I can understand that part if they know exactly what's going on with you, because I mean now you explaining it to an extent, and I remember you talking about the seizures, but I don't remember it. But Grice, give him something, because even though you didn't start having the seizures, you did have an injury where you had to get a surgery or something on them type of feelings. What would you say to him about that? And then we're gonna talk about the suicide. Don't, bro. We ain't talking about that.
So when you have seizures,
Well, no,
'cause I'm not a doctor,
I,
so I don't know. So when you have seizures, is there something that happens that trigger the seizures, or it's just they're automatic, they just random?
okay. Well, hold that thought. But Bear, I'm not gonna really do that. I was gonna use that
Okay.
against the
You can't use that
doctors,
against the doctors because
Because
and
they
they'll
will
lock
lock
you up.
your
they
ass
got
up.
my license.
Say that again, Grice.
You can't use that
Yeah, that's
against the
what
doctors.
that
They will
was.
lock your ass up. You will be on the fifth floor of somebody's mental
Yeah, I
institution
was. I
You,
playing with
you,
old people,
yeah,
eating
man, I
jello,
ain't
taking
that
medicine. You
crazy.
don't want that.
I ain't that
yeah,
crazy, man.
you be in there with them straight jackets on.
Crazy.
No, for real, for real. I seen them in the joint. They had you in, and listen, they have you so medicated, boy, you won't be able to move. Listen,
Right.
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
But go ahead,
Yeah,
Grace.
you don't want that.
But nah, I really want to do that.
No, because I guess what I was asking is because sometimes I guess if maybe I don't know, so you lied, so you evidently you know when you had a seizures because you lied about it. So if maybe you could keep a journal to see what's happening or what is your thought process, or maybe to see what's triggering them, because if it's something that's mental that's triggering the seizure outside of just all your surgeries or whatever, maybe like if it's stress or you've gotten in an argument with somebody and then next thing you know you're having a seizure, then maybe you can find a way to like curtail getting upset or having that stress, or find some other kind of way to deal with it, to just see what brings it on. Because like Sugar, you remember Ebony.
Mm-hmm.
Ebony used to drink, and when Ebony used to drink, Ebony used to
For
have seizures. But as
seizures.
long as Ebony didn't drink, Ebony didn't have seizures. And one time he got drunk and he had a seizure, and I don't mean to laugh, but he fell out of bed and he broke Bulk's mirror.
And cut itself up. Listen, man.
She cussed him out so
Yeah, she wasn't a good support system, was she?
she
She
was
was.
not. She cussed him out. She cussed him out.
I remember that.
She
He
cussed the
broke her
police
mirror.
out. She cussed the firefighters out. She cussed about that mirror. She cussed at
Yeah.
everybody about that mirror. So she, and I
But
ain't laughing about the seizures. I'm laughing because she crazy.
that's your mom. That's your mama. But let me listen to what Anna Brown is saying, because she got some certificates, guys. Let me see what she said.
Okay.
Um, she says seizures are. I think she was saying seizures. Seizures are caused by some type of electric mechanism in the brain, and it just causes communication to be messed up with the body. There's a lot of things that can bring a seizure on. Stress is a big one. It's a big one. So she said stress can be a big one. That was seizures and cause. Okay. So that was the lady Anna, my cousin. She was at the devil. She was talking to you last time you was on here.
That's your cousin.
Yeah, Anna is. That's my family.
Oh.
I guess they basically saying, do you have any triggers? Same thing. You got to throw them back in
The
them
headphones. You
plugs.
still can't hear me.
Yeah. No, because it make it echo out here.
Oh shit. Let's see. Cause my earpods broke. Damn.
I sure remember Ebony used to have them seizures though, Grace. That's
Hmm.
crazy. But
You got to
Can
cut
you
that
hear me if I
bed.
put the phone like this?
yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
saying you hear my echoing though. Yeah, when you do that, we can hear you real clear.
Do you take medicine?
Yeah, I take like
Well, I don't think your phone
hello.
issue is gonna get it together. Yeah, we can hear you a little bit, but it's taking too long. We almost at the half hour and a half mark. Grace got to go to bed. But listen, um, I I wanted Anna to say something too, though. I think she was talking about uh, there's a lot of things that can bring a seizure on. Stress is a big one. So
Hmm.
a lot of the times when you having seizures, little bro, do you think that it's because you're stressed out?
I mean, yeah, I am because that's a hurtful feeling. Like that shit feels like voodoo, man. It's like how would you feel if your hand like just rise up in the sky, your eyes rolling back, you
Mm,
fall, you're jerking. It's like you like man, like you could I bit like you could bite your tongue will be
Yeah.
yeah,
bleeding.
yeah,
You could like have so many things, and it's like it's crazy because the scary part about it is you don't know if you're gonna wake up.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Because little Quisha be having them too, Grace.
Yeah.
So we familiar with them. I know a few people that used to have them. You know what I mean? So hmm, I know a dude that I was in a joint where he was in my cell. He used to have them too. Like man, so I know they ain't nothing to play with. But
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, and it's like a lot of people think it's something to play with. Like I gotta show you a picture of it was the girl's son. He had a seizure, and they took a picture of him. They took a picture of the whole family hovering over him because he had died. I was scrolling down and I wasn't paying attention until I read it, and it was like I talked to her, and she was crying to me on the phone. She was telling me that she was pulling her hair out of her head, and she couldn't believe why God took her son, her
mm,
only son. She was telling me like she said, Jay, I just can't get over it. It's like every day she posts a little boy. So it's like by me thinking of that and by me looking at that, it's trauma. It's like sometimes I don't even be wanting people to even mention like what happened to me, because it's like when you say that, it's like I start thinking about the whole entire thing. I start thinking about how I lost this, how I lost
mm-hmm.
that. I start thinking about how I have to ask people for rides, and my mama not understanding why I want this, why and how bad I need it, because how am I going to be successful when I don't have the right tools?
Right. But this is the thing, little bro. Check this out. I think this is what Anna, I think Grace, everybody was telling you to do. In a situation like this, Grace, this is what I'm thinking. You got to go and get and sit down with somebody and be able to talk. Because if
Yeah.
stress is one of them, and then you dealing with all these thoughts, you got to have an
Hmm.
outlet. He's got to have an outlet and somebody to help you channel those outlets and those talks and be
Yeah.
able to, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got
Because one thing is you got to change the perspective because you're looking at everything that you lost, but you're still living. So you have to look at the fact that you're still here. So you're here for a reason. And if you focus on the things that you want versus the things that you don't have, I really believe that God will bring the stuff that you need so that you can be successful. But as long as you're focusing on lack and what you don't have, you're going to get more of that because you're going to keep attracting more of that. You're going to keep attracting people who don't understand you. You're going to keep attracting people who are not a good support system. But if you start changing the way you think and focus, oh, and okay, this is what I want. This is where I want to go. Even though the road might look hard, is not keeping you through all those surgeries and everything that you've been here. You still here, sweetie. You still here, and as long as you can breathe and you can live, you got a chance. But you got to change your thought process to what you want because you seem like you're a go getter. You want to be, self sufficient or whatever, and you maybe at this point don't have that support group, but don't focus on that. Focus on what you want and where you're trying to go and pray and ask God for guidance. And then sometimes you have to get quiet so that you can hear Him. Cut out all the noise so that you can actually hear Him. And I promise you, if you just trust in God and lean on that, He will bring you what you need. But you're going to have to change your whole thought process. And if that means you need to get medicine, to keep taking your medicine, talk to a therapist, to a real therapist, not your friends. Don't be in the kitchen with the kitchen therapist because, like you said, your friends are listening, but they really don't care.
Yeah.
So go talk to somebody who can like really give you some steps of what you can do to maybe kind of deal with it and to kind of like because if stress is one of the things I could see it being stressful if you're in another state and now you got to get home and now you got to figure out how you gonna get home or whatever and you want to drive but you can't drive. That's stressful. And
But
then
yeah,
a
go ahead.
situation like that may cause you to have um seizures or whatever. So they focus on what you want and know that you are a fighter
Yeah,
because you still here.
yeah. And see what a light bulb came on while Grace was saying that as she was talking about you not having a ride. It's just now clicked to me though, bro, because you said it, but you never really explained it. That's the reason why you walked over here. You dig what I'm saying? Because he lives on 15th and Brady, Grace. So just
Hmm.
think he lives on 15th and Brady for where we at. So to get his
Hmm.
hair cut, he walked down here to get his hair cut.
Oh, that's a walk.
And not really. It's a couple
Yeah,
of
it is
blocks,
a walk.
but yeah, because you don't you ain't. But I'm saying, but he's in a position where he ain't driving, so he took off and he walked and he came down just to get his hair cut. And so it was just it ain't dawning on me that he can't drive certain places, and they got a
Yeah,
vehicle at the house that he could have just drove down the street, but maybe she might be scared. Support
yeah,
system might be there. You can't drive my vehicle. You mess around, have a seat, and it's in my name. I got
yeah,
insurance. My insurance. You see them how people would do it. But
yeah.
that listen, that was some of the best sound advice. Now listen to what Anna is saying. She said, I was diagnosed with something called silent seizures back in maybe 2009. I want to say this type of seizure caused a sudden lapse in your daily living. After being tested for 12 days in the hospital, they told me that mine was caused by severe depression. I
Hmm.
used to be on medication called tripitol, or whatever that tripitol, and I
Isn't
but I
that isn't
refused to
that
have it to be on that
tribectal?
for the rest of my life. Now I'm a woman of faith. I put my faith in God and He has delivered me. I'm sorry I'm talking in my microphone and it's not picking up my words correctly. So please forgive me. She says, yes, trust in God and He will completely deliver you. He did it for me. And His word says that He has no respect of a persons, but you got to trust and you got to believe. The Bible says, speak those things that are not as though they were. So you have to speak your healing into existence and believe in faith. See, and that's where Grice just switched from her doctor into Deacon Grice. She went, you see how she went to Pastor Grice and started speaking life and life and into it.
I'm
So
gonna fix
you did
you. This the
sometimes she's
last
a
Monday
doctor,
right here.
sometimes she's a doctor, then she went into Deacon Grice. But listen, that was real talk though, because what you speak out of your mouth, if you focus on that and not focus on what he is. Like, dude is so awesome to be
Yeah,
so young, and he be talking to TT, and you know how TT doing the healthcare thing. He be talking to TT on the phone, chopping it up
yeah,
with TT. You know what I mean? So when we get ready to go to Indianapolis, I want to take him with me. But
yeah. You
he's
got
super
it.
smart.
But no, but for real talk, the reason I say that is because today, 10 years ago today, I was hit by a semi. I had to learn how to walk again pretty much because I had multiple hip fractures. I had a collapsed lung. I ended up getting blood clots in my lungs. I couldn't walk for like 6 months unassisted. So I say that to say I never sit up and think about what happened or the fact that I lost my car or whatever, and that was my favorite car or whatever, and all the things that I had to go through. I always think about, what, I'm here for a reason. And I focus on that, and I focus on moving forward because I have good days and bad days because my hips sometimes give me pain. But at the end of the day, I don't focus on that. I focus on I'm still here.
Yeah, we should have talked about that. I forgot that about that accident. We could have showed a picture of that car. Man,
Mhm.
that was crazy. But that's real talk, little bro. And
Mhm.
so I hope that they gave you something. You dig what I'm saying? As far as keeping that positive outlook because you
Yeah.
do got a lot going for yourself. You dig what I'm saying? If you count what you got going on for yourself, it far outweighs the
Yeah.
BS. I get it. I understand what you're saying, but man, you really do got a lot going on. God is really blessing you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
You're here for a reason. So God is keeping you here for a reason. So focus on that. And if you don't meditate, I would suggest starting there because it will help you get focused. It will help you quiet your mind sometimes. So even if you just quiet your mind for 5 minutes a day and take a walk outside or whatever, get out in nature.
That won't, to be honest, that don't help. Oh, like I appreciate everybody's opinions and facts, but I'm gonna be honest, cause I am an
Hmm.
honest dude. I could take a walk, and all of a sudden a seizure just happens. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do a lot. I could like right now. I'm on the phone with y'all. It could just come out and happen out of nowhere. It's like it's to the point where I'm drained.
And you gotta continue to be
There's no more
drained because
fight.
you
It's
keep
like
focusing on it. And I get it that it's a medical issue, and I get it that they'll come up at the spur of the moment. But until you change your mindset, things are not gonna get better. So you can not want to take our advice. That's because we're not living in your shoes. That's fine because we don't know what you go through. But all we can do is try to tell you to think positive. And right now, I feel like you don't want to think positive. So if you want to continue to live as woe is me, then you're going to continue to attract all those things that you don't want. So the only thing that I can tell you at this point is, unless you change your mindset, and you're going to keep getting more of what you already getting.
What is your prayer life like, bro?
um see that
Yeah,
part right there.
right. Yeah.
Um
See,
I'm gonna be honest.
we got a lot to talk about.
Whenever I was going through it and my grandma was like, "You all right?" Because God put his what toughest soldiers through it. It's like I got angry because it's like I think of it like this: if you're not bothering nobody, if you stay to yourself, why you chose to pick with me
Because
out of
sometimes God
everybody
is
that's
trying
to
to show his
mankind?
love and his grace.
Why that's not them?
Sometimes he's taking you through it just so you can get so he can get the glory. Because at the same time, you heard what she just told you. He's waking you up. You here for a purpose. So when you tell your story, I invited you on the platform so you can tell your platform, so you can tell your story. Because it's other people that's going through it, and they need to know, like what's the blueprint on how to make it through this. How can I do this? Because God's gonna take somebody through it. Your test is your testimony, and your mess is your message. You dig what I'm saying? And I learned that the hard way. But I'm telling you, she is not playing with you when she's telling you you are being woke up for a reason. Because listen, if God was done with you, somebody went inside your head 5 times. It could have been
Hmm.
done. It could have
Yeah.
easily been done for you. You
Yeah.
could have came, you could have not came out of one of them surgeries. But for some odd reason you did 5 times. Now, it might not be the best from your opinion. The doctors could have been off. They could be just getting a check. But I tell you one thing, God don't make no mistakes. He keep waking you up every day. When he get tired, he can man, it just like that, you can be done. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You can be just like that. People die in they sleep every day.
Every day.
Every
Somebody
day.
just died right now. So I
Uh-huh.
mean,
And
people
that's
die
real
all the
talk.
time and they never died
Nah,
before. So I mean,
I mean that's just honestly how I feel. I mean, it's annoying whenever certain things that you need and it's like it's tearing you down. Like my little brother just started having them, my dad didn't have him bad, and I didn't know this until he had like called me and he told me.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna figure out some. We're gonna. When you come over here next time, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more about my prayer life and about praying and stuff like that, and we're gonna try to figure something out. But Grace got to go to bed. But listen, man, I'm grateful that you showed up on the platform, and anytime we got some stuff on here that you want to talk about, you're more than welcome to get on here. So shit, just get some rest and let me know when you need me. Wednesday, we going over there to eat some wings and watch the playoffs, right? Wednesday, you still on?
Mm.
He gone?
I think he is.
Okay. But you know what, Grace? I think that was real. And sometimes that's what it is, you know what I mean? You gotta give it to him raw. Maria says, we don't know why God do what he let me post that real quick. Thank you, Anna, too, for what you said, because I
Yeah,
mean, the only thing we can do is try to speak life into him, and he
that's
come
it.
over get his hair cut, and then what I mean, I'm gonna try to talk to him about prayer and about what I pray about. Maria says we don't know why God do what he do at the time, but it will make sense one day to you. Keep your head up, and it will get better.
It
And
will.
hopefully it will, because like you said though, Grace, that's the best thing that somebody can tell him is that you waking up every day. God
Yeah,
is waking you up every day. Yeah. Yeah. She finna go to bed, little bro, and so she gotta go to bed. But I got one more video I want to show you guys. I just want to
yeah.
see what you think about this, because I don't understand it, but just check this out. We gotta do this.
It better not be no mess.
Hey,
Fuck out of here, nigga. My shit's red. This nigga crazy. What's up? Rob, get up, get
What's
up.
up? Come on, let's go.
Get out, you done.
My shit red.
Get out, talk to me again.
Come on, let's my shit red.
Nigga, you live in my house for
Now,
long.
let you go.
Nah, you out. Nah, you fucking
Now
out.
you out.
Nah, nigga, you out.
You chested me.
Nigga, you hit like a bitch and you fucking out, nigga.
I ain't got bitch.
Get the fuck out of my apartment.
Let's go.
Get the fuck out of my apartment
Let's go.
right now. We're making a weight competition. You wanna hit me, nigga?
Let's go.
You really think you wanna hit me, nigga?
Yeah, of course I'm gonna hit you.
Now get out.
I'm gonna hit you now.
Do it again then.
I throw you
I swear to
uppercut.
God, do it again, nigga.
I throw uppercut.
Nigga, you done.
What?
Get the fuck out.
What?
Shit.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick.
see, people gotta stop playing all the time. Did you see dude tell him to come on and let's go? You swung on him. He got a lick off the first time. Dude told him, man, come on, it's time for you to get out. You know what I mean? You got to get out. He tried to just tell him, like, man, you swung on me in my house. Get out of my apartment. And then he stole on him again. He told him, I'm gonna give you an uppercut.
I
And he
didn't see
gave.
the video. All I
You
saw
didn't.
was turning. No,
You didn't see the video?
no.
What happened? Oh,
It was
okay.
just spinning like it was loading.
Oh Lord. Let me see. Maybe it's got to be this. I gotta take her thing. You did not see that. Tell me if you see it, because let me see. I seen it. Nobody else seen it. Tell me if you see it. Is it still spinning or it's showing? You can see it.
No, it's not.
Fuck out of here, nigga. My shit's red.
This nigga crazy.
What's up?
Rob, get up, get
What's
up.
up? Come on, let's go.
Get out, you done.
My shit red.
Get out, talk to me again. You done.
Come on, let's my shit
Nigga,
red.
you live in my house for
Now
long.
let you go.
Nah, you
Go
out.
ahead.
Nah, you fucking
Now
out.
you out.
Nah, nigga, you out.
You chested me.
Nigga, you hit like a bitch and you fucking out, nigga.
I ain't got bitch.
Get the fuck out of my apartment.
Let's go.
Get the fuck out of my apartment
Let's go.
right now. We're making a weight competition. You wanna hit me, nigga?
Let's go.
You really think you wanna hit me, nigga?
Yeah, of course I'm gonna hit you.
Now get out.
I'm gonna hit you now.
Do it again then.
I throw you
I swear to
uppercut.
God, do it again, nigga.
I throw uppercut.
Nigga, you done.
What?
Get the fuck out.
What?
Shit.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. I'm sick. I'm sick.
But listen, he told him stop playing. Listen, get out of my house. How do you punch somebody in their house and they give you a break? He gave him a break and told him like, let's go, like get out. Then he had to get on his ass. He had to- See, everybody ain't listen. Everybody ain't with the BS though.
Right. Everybody ain't with it.
Listen, man, that should be a lesson to anybody watching. When they tell you to stop playing,
Right.
stop, cut it out. I don't care how drunk you are. Heed the warnings because listen,
Yeah.
when he got on him, he wasn't ready for it. I bet you wish he would have walked on out there. He talking about I'm gonna uppercut you. Like this some bullshit right here. So that's it for stop playing for the day. Just gotta stop playing all the time. Okay, Grace, I love you. I'm
All
gone.
right. Love you too.
You a doctor
Bye.
and a deacon today. You turned into a deacon. What the- and then and see you you have no problem with just telling people the truth. Well, if you're gonna keep talking like that, then that's what's gonna happen. The negativity. Like what made you feel like that? Like because you wasn't getting through or something? Did you did you start feeling like you was wasting your energy or something?
I did. I did.
While you
Like,
tired?
like
You was
my
tired?
patience was short for that now. You get off of Woe is Me Street. You still
Yeah.
here for a reason. Be thankful, be grateful, wake up every day, be grateful for that. And just start looking at what it is that you want. You back here looking at what you had. You look like you're young, so you ain't had much. So move forward.
And shit, you if anybody know about shit, life throwing you a curveball, shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I just thought about that car accident, man. Shit, that thing looked
Mhm.
like it was your whole front end was pushed up to the steering wheel. The
Yeah, they had to
whole
cut me out.
yeah, man. Okay. Well shit, go ahead and get some rest, man. And y'all be safe. I'll see y'all this weekend or something.
All right.
I'm gonna have your sister stuff packed up.